Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Star Trek not resurrecting a TNG character was the right move. Lower Decks ultimately makes the right decision to honor a Star Trek TNG character's sacrifice, confirming that it still matters decades later. Although it was an enticing prospect, Star Trek Lower Decks made the right call not to bring Star Trek The Next Generation's ensign Cedo Jaxa, Shannon Phil, back from the dead. Lower Decks previously revealed that the ill-fated Bajoran ensign was a Starfleet Academy contemporary of a young Beckett mariner, Tawny Newsome, potentially teasing a comeback for the character. Ultimately, the Lower Decks Season 4 finale doesn't bring Cedo back from the dead, but instead honors the importance of her Star Trek legacy. Star Trek The Next Generation's ensign Cedo Jaxa died in the episode Lower Decks, which had a huge influence on Mike McMahan's animated comedy series. The influence of the classic TNG episode on Star Trek Lower Decks is embodied by the connection between Mariner and Cedo. As a former member of Nova Squadron, Cedo was also close with Nick Locarno, Robert Duncan McNeil, the main villain of Lower Decks Season 4. Because of this, Cedo comes up during Mariner and Locarno's final confrontation, as they argue over the meaning of her TNG sacrifice. Lower Decks didn't resurrect Star Trek TNG's ensign Cedo, and it was the right move. A previous attempt to bring Cedo back for Star Trek Deep Space Nine was nixed because it was felt that it would undermine her noble sacrifice. Mike McMahan and the Star Trek Lower Decks writers clearly agree, as they also decide that Cedo should remain dead. If anything, Lower Decks Season 4 finale makes Cedo Jaxa's death even more impactful by making it a huge part of Mariner's story arc. By recognizing that Cedo died for something that she believed in, Mariner is never in any danger of falling for Nick Locarno's lies. When Nick tries to use Cedo's death as a justification for his actions in the Star Trek Lower Decks Season 4 finale, it rings hollow. As Mariner rightly points out, Nick's angry because he was thrown out of Starfleet Academy for the Nova Squadron scandal. As if to prove the point, Old Friends, New Planets opens with a flashback to Starfleet Academy prior to the Nova Squadron disaster that claimed the life of Cadet Joshua Albert. The flashback allows Shannon Phil to come back as Cedo Jaxa, alongside Will Wheaton as Wesley Crusher, and confirms who the real architect of the fatal Nova Squadron accident was. Lower Decks closed the book on Star Trek TNG's The First Duty. Star Trek Lower Decks Season 4 finale confirms that Cedo Jaxa was remembered for her noble sacrifice and not for her role in the Nova Squadron cover-up. It's Cedo's sacrifice that keeps Mariner going, proving that she has a lasting impact on the next generation of Star Trek Lower Deckers. The Starfleet Academy flashback sequence also reveals that Wesley Crusher, Joshua Albert, and Cedo Jaxa were all skeptical about the merits of attempting the banned Colvard Starburst maneuver. Although Nova Squadron ultimately followed the orders of their superior officer, the flashback confirms that the final decision to break regulations rested firmly in the hands of Nick Locarno. Many Starfleet officers have made the wrong decisions due to the pressures of their commanding officer. What matters is what they do next. Star Trek Lower Decks Season 4 finale proves this by showing how the dent to Nick Locarno's ego turned him into an embittered and obsessive villain, rather than someone who made a real difference. Cedo Jaxa moved on from the Nova Squadron disaster and found her place aboard the U.S. Enterprise D, where she made a name for herself. Although her career was tragically brief, it played a big part in shaping one of modern Star Trek's best-loved characters. Thanks for watching.